saying, taking a ride, but it feels like we're paying for the madness that occurred with the ticket to good times. Hunter promised this, but he wasn't ready for the first time. Standing with my friends in the bright light, saw you going crazy on the dance floor. I've taken on already, but I want more. This time I wanna feel it. Breakfast in New York, and I know that we're dreaming. Drunken conversations and the things we were scheming to get out of this town and take a trip underground. How Bateman promised this, but he wasn't ready for the first time. Standing with my friends in the bright light, saw you going crazy on the dance floor. I've taken on already, but I want more. This time I'm gonna feel it.
Es fällt mir schwer, ohne dich zu leben, jeden Tag zu jeder Zeit einfach alles zu geben. Ich denk so oft zurück an das, was war, an jedem so geliebten, vergangenen Tag. Ich stell mir vor, dass du zu mir stehst und jeden meiner Wege an meine Seite gehst. Ich denke an so vieles, seitdem du nicht mehr bist, denn du hast mir gezeigt, wie wertvoll das Leben ist. Wir waren geboren, um zu leben, mit den Wundern jener Zeit, sich niemals zu vergessen, bis in alle Ewigkeit. Wir waren geboren, um zu leben, für den einen Augenblick, bei dem jeder von uns spürte, wie wertvoll Leben ist.
It is surviving, it is doing relatively well. Is that a model for the world? No, I don't believe that it is a model for the world. Are the governments doing a good job? No, not necessarily. Should they be pressed to do a better job? Yes, but it is the government's job, which does not mean that the government somehow fill the entire space. No, a lot of things are being done without the governments. A lot of things are being done by the private business. And I would, well, in an ideal case, the changes are happening because there is a sort of a sense of inevitability of the change. And no one wants to be left out. But have we reached this point? No, we have not. However, I do agree with Alf that the future is in low carbon economy. But that's our future. And the question is only how do we get there? And the question is how do we manage the transition in a way that does not divide the world even more, that does not create even deeper divides in the world. So that's the question of fairness that Alf also mentioned.
Thanks. John, I'm very glad that you brought that up because it does seem nonsensical to some. And the legally binding debate, I'm not a lawyer and I don't really want to get into the nuances of it. But I just want to make one simple statement, is the UN Convention on Climate, Framework Convention on Climate Change, is a legally binding instrument that binds all of us, all parties, including the US. And what that convention does is it provides for two kinds of legal commitments. It provides for what we call general commitments. So for example, all parties, irrespective of whether you developed or developing, under Article 4.1, have a legal obligation to reduce their emissions. They have a legal obligation to report internationally. They have legal obligations to adapt. They have, it then sets out, so those are legal obligations which apply to all parties under the convention. What the convention does not have is the convention has no compliance mechanism. So you have a legal obligation without an international mechanism to enforce compliance on those general obligations. What the Kyoto Protocol does is it elaborates mechanisms on the second type of commitment or legal obligation under the convention, which is what we generally call specific legal obligations. And those specific legal obligations apply to developed countries, or Annex 1 countries. In fact, Annex 1 is divided, developed countries are divided into two. Annex 1 countries that are not, or that are economies in transition like Poland, have legal obligations under the Kyoto Protocol to a target, but they have more flexibility. They can choose their base year and so on. And they do not have legal obligations to provide finance and technology support for developing country action on climate change. And the other Annex 1 countries, the UKs and Frances and the US and so on, have legal obligations to specifically reduce their emissions in a target, against a target, as well as legal obligations to provide money and technology and capacity building support. So those are specific obligations. So the problem that we have under the convention, which binds everyone, is legally binding on everyone, is this issue of compliance. And that's where the negotiations, the center of this negotiation is around what I call the international verification. So compliance, in another word, in a more euphemistic kind of word, is a mechanism whereby the international community can verify whether you did what you said you would do. And that's at the center of this negotiation. And the US is very clear, for example, that no international verification of major developing economies' actions, no money. So they're very clear about their linkages. So this negotiation is if a decision is made under the convention, it's legally binding on all parties, because that decision is made unanimously. There's no such thing as a vote under the convention. But what the decision does not do, it does not force the country to go to its parliament and ratify that decision. So it's of less legally binding nature than a ratifiable outcome. And it's the ratification process which converts an obligation made by one government into a state obligation, because the parliament of that country ratified that outcome. So we're not in a position in Durban to achieve a ratifiable outcome, but we are in a position to achieve legally binding outcomes in terms of decisions. I know that sounds like an excuse and a wriggle, but it's not. It's the nuances of how binding is bindingness. I agree with you on the excesses. if everyone in the world consumed at the level that the average US citizen consumed, we need 6 Earths to carry us. I mean, it's a completely unsustainable situation that we find ourselves in. And it's not only climate, it's all extractive kind of industry, and it's about sustainable livelihoods at the end of the day. So this transition, or the premise that we're trying to get in the multilateral rules-based regime is that we enable the improvement of the standard of quality of life of all citizens, but decouple that improvement from the impact on the environment. So that's the premise that we're operating under. And I think that there's a number of European countries, particularly the Nordics, that have proven or demonstrated decoupling of the impact of their growth, economic growth and wealth from the impacts that they have on the environment. So those are the kind of models that we need to be pursuing at a global level. In terms of where South Africa stands, Lindsay, South Africa is an African country, and our primary alliance is within Africa. For this particular year, we happen to be also the Corp president, and in that context, the South African national interest is largely being negotiated through the Africa Group by the Africans. And we are in a lucky position to be able to be much more neutral and impartial and try and find the win-win and the compromise solutions. So we're in that fortunate. In terms of our the basic group of countries, Brazil, India, China, and South Africa, the basic group is a coordinating group. It's not a negotiating bloc. So there are many, many differences between the 4 countries. But what we do is we coordinate our positions so that we try to some extent to contribute to finding the win-win solution down the road. I think that the basic group has been going, it was an alliance that was created to a large extent by President George Bush when he set up what they call the Major Economies Meeting, which is an informal parallel structure. But in essence, the 4 of us were targeted as major emitters by the US, and it was largely began as a defensive alliance, if you want, a defensive coordinating group. So you will never find a basic position, a negotiating position, because each country holds their own national position. So our negotiating position, we try and align within Africa. Now, Africa as a bloc is really not quite as coherent as the EU. But beyond the EU, it's the next most coherent bloc of countries. There are some areas of differences which are not very easy in Africa. There seems to be a difference of opinion around RED, which is the reduced emissions from deforestation, forest degradation, with the Congo Basin countries having one kind of position and the East Africans having another kind of opposing position, particularly in relation to the use of markets in the forestry sector. We also have some differences around the response measures, with the North African oil-producing countries having some affinity with the OPEC interests. So there are a few areas which are difficult within Africa, but on the whole, the African position is consistent and coherent. I can't talk to the European debt crisis. And yeah, in terms of the Green Fund, basically what the Cancun Agreement said is that by Durban we need to have designed the fund, not filled it up. But what we have been hearing from developed countries is that the 30 billion or the 10 billion per year Fast Start Fund is a flow of funds which might not be exactly replicated, but it's not that in 2012 those funds disappeared. So there is a significant proportion of funds. I think that we just need to appreciate that $100 billion US per annum is larger than the World Bank. The World Bank replenishment is about 70 billion US dollars per year. So this climate fund that we're talking about by 2020 will be bigger than the World Bank. It's a significant fund. The trick is obviously that the developed countries have a reference to private sector's investment flows being counted as part of the 100 billion. So there's a big disagreement between developed and developing around how much of that 100 billion is public finance and how much is private sector finance. So that's one of the tricky areas for Europe. And in terms of the coal reserves are centuries. We have centuries of coal reserves. Oil less so, but if you had to look at a picture, that would be coal. Oil would be just this little corner. That would be the coal reserve. So coal is the big kahuna in this. And the question is, how does one either reduce or capture the emissions from coal where you burn it and store it, or capture it and convert it to something more useful? So like bricks or tar roads or coal roads or whatever you want to call it. So that's a very critical area of technology development that we need if we are going to really truly make an impact. Because as you're aware, 92% of our energy, electricity comes from coal. Or our energy, not necessarily electricity, because we also have the coal from oil from coal process at Sasol. So we are a coal-dependent economy at this point in time, and we're coal-dependent for historical reasons, because during apartheid we needed to be self-sufficient. So it's a very interesting thing when you look at the numbers going back historically. You look at South Africa in the 1970s with the oil shock. Basically, most countries in the world became more energy efficient because of the oil problems. Japan being the class A example. And South Africa went the other way. So when the oil shock hit, we just dug more coal. And we brought Sasol on stream. And so South Africa is a real outlier. And if you had to plot the Human Development Index of all countries of the world, you'll see a curve that looks like this, with America and them at the top with the bigger emitters, and the poor countries, lower emitters and lower HDI down here. But South Africa is kind of like in the middle. So all these countries are on this curve, and South Africa, so the equivalent HDI, and we've got more than double the average emission intensity due to that apartheid self-reliance paranoia that the apartheid government had. So, we have a history to, there's more than one legacy to apartheid, shall we say. I suppose when the ice melts, then Antarctica will be available for exploitation. I mean, that's true. One can't say how much oil is there or how much coal there is, but I would imagine it would not be insignificant. Okay.
Thank you. Right, thank you everybody for your patience. I know that we've extended the time period, but gosh, every time I listen to climate change discussions, I realize how complicated and how loaded and how broad ranging the discussion is. And especially in the geopolitical context which we might find ourselves. So I'd like to thank both speakers for your frankness and your openness and the opportunity to engage with you on some of these issues. So thank you very much for your participation. I'd like to say to Alf, good luck. The next 50 days are going to be probably quite difficult, but we look forward to an ambitious, successful, fair, and equitable outcome. So, and we hope that obviously the Cancun agreements are actualized, etc. But thank you very much. We'd like to thank the Polish Embassy of South Africa for supporting this event. They've made this event possible, and there is something outside for your patients. So would you, and there's some papers.
I need to say, I know we've run out of time in starting with. I traveled from Cape.
Okay.
One opportunity to meet these two, I hope that we can bring the European Union and South Africa together. I have just come today presenting the Lutheran bishops, presenting to the SACC. We believe it's important that we come to a meaningful agreement, because we're not putting economics at the center. We're putting principles and we're putting the future of the planet at the center. And so, I regret that I haven't had an opportunity, because I think there's some really important issues.
Can I suggest perhaps just for a few minutes while
maybe we can have lunch together. I mean, I would like the SABC and time to drill at some stage.
Okay, would you like to maybe you'd like to stay and stay? You need to go.
There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch and it's bringing me out the dark. Finally, I can see you crystal clear. Go ahead and sell me out and I'll lay your ship bare. See, I'll leave with every piece of you. Don't underestimate the things that I will do. There's a fire starting
Put your hand in the air. Put your hand in the air. And we go from left to right. not just dough, but a show that you know she's worth your time. You will lose if you choose to refuse to put her first. She will and she can't find a man who knows her worth. Cause a real man knows a real woman when he sees her. And a real woman knows a real man ain't afraid to please her. And a real woman knows a real man always comes first. Love you, and I need you, Nelly. I love you, I do. Need you, no matter what I do. All I think about is you. Even when I'm with my boo, oh, you know I'm crazy over you. No matter what I do, all I think about is you. Even when I'm with my boo, you know I'm crazy over you.
I met this chick and she just moved right up the block for me. And she got the hots for me, the finest thing my hood has seen. But oh no, no, she got a man and a son though. Oh, but that's okay, cause I wait for my cue and just listen, play my position like a show star. Pick up everything, mommy hitting, and in no time I better make this with him mine. And that's for sure, cause I never been the type to break up a happy home.
I'm never gonna run away from you. I open up my heart to you. I'm yours.
I see your dirty face, hide behind your collar. What is done in vain? Truth is hard to swallow, so you pray to God to justify the way you live a lie, live a lie, live a lie.
Give it to me like
makeup. Here we go again. I'll meet another one. Her name is. She looks at me, says I'm the only one.
A Christian Science, devil in Helsinki. I met a Christian Science, devil in Helsinki.
Is it getting better? Wrote her a letter, asking questions, baby steps and sections. I mean, we'll take it slow. I really don't know. When you talk, you make me cringe. Silver means the messenger. Let her go, don't question her.
I met a Christian Science, devil in Helsinki.
J'ai un peu de mal à trouver le sommeil quand je t'imagine à ces monts et merveilles. Alors j'enfile une veste et un verre de vodka. Tant pis si j'empeste la trouille et le tabac. Je danse jusqu'à rire. Je prie le jour de ne jamais revenir. J'ai moins peur à redire devant pire que de ton souvenir. Je danse jusqu'à rire. La nuit, la vie est moins pire. J'ai moins peur à vrai dire devant pire que de ton souvenir. Seul, je rejoins le centre de la vie et de l'univers. Je tourne en rond dans le ventre de ce monde qui tourne à l'envers. Saoul, je suis sur la piste, écris mes mots d'amour à l'oreille de choriste d'un tube de mauvais goût. Oh, de mauvais goût. Je danse jusqu'à rire. Je prie le jour de ne jamais revenir. J'ai moins peur à vrai dire des vampires que de ton souvenir. Je danse jusqu'à rire. La nuit, la vie est moins pire. J'ai moins peur à vrai dire des vampires que de ton souvenir. Tout le monde se fout de mes raisons, la nuit se pose moins de questions. Dans le berceau des petites gloires, on veut du rêve, pas de l'espoir. Tout le monde se fout de mes raisons, la nuit se pose moins de questions. Les loups ne donnent pas de prénom, ils pissent partout et puis s'en vont, on est quand même en avance. Dès qu'on connaît quelques pas de danse, je ferais bien tourner la chance et virevolter mes cavalières de trance. Mais ce n'est pas encore ce soir que quelque part remplaceront la beauté ou le pouvoir. Et je rentre à la maison et ma baignoire c'est une crique. Et à la télé c'est l'Afrique et tu me manques. Et la musique dans mes oreilles c'est la panique. Ce soir encore je t'en ai voulu. Ce soir encore je me suis déçue. J'ai joué sur le bord en espérant tomber des nues. Mais tu me manques encore, tu me manques. Je danse jusqu'à rire. Je prie le jour de ne jamais revenir. J'ai moins peur à vrai dire des vampires que de ton souvenir. Je danse jusqu'à rire. La nuit, la vie est moins pire. J'ai moins peur à vrai dire des vampires que de ton souvenir. J'ai moins peur à vrai dire des vampires que de ton souvenir.
a preacher's son, and when his daddy would visit, he'd come along. When they gathered around and started talking, Cousin Billy would take me walking. Out through the backyard we go walking. Then he looked into my eyes. Lord knows to my surprise, the only one who could ever reach me was the son of a preacher man. The only boy who could ever teach me was the son of a preacher man. Yes, he was. He was. Yes, he was. Being good isn't always easy, no matter how hard I try. When he started sweet talking to me, he'd come and tell me everything is alright. He'd kiss and tell me everything's alright. Can I get away again tonight? The only one who could ever reach me was the son of a preacher man. The only boy who could ever teach me was the son of a preacher man. Yes, he was. He was. Lord knows he was. Yes, he was. How will I remember the look was in his eyes, stealing kisses from me on the slide, taking time to make time, telling me that he's all mine.
You're looking lost, and I don't know the reason. All that I know is that you should not be. Don't run away. The time is now, the place is here. Don't hesitate, for this is very urgent. I'm in a state in which I should not be. It's up to you to let a minute save your day. Show me what you got. I know you've got a lot, so don't you let it slip away. Just show me what it takes to hold you. Maybe no one told you. Trust me when I say today's your lucky day. Today's your lucky day. Dear diary, I'm on my way to madness. She don't belong to mediocrity. I let her know that I have never been so sure. Show me what you got. I know you've got a lot, so don't you let it slip away. Come on, show me what it takes to hold
today, 'cause they don't have to take a stance. Everybody's stuck on replay, but they won't need a second chance.
We move, we can't stop. We have to reach the next level. And we lose and get dropped. We're looking out for a rebel. All the bets are made in time to cut off the one who's left behind. And everybody thinks it's fine to get lost and leave the starting line.
All the people feeling it's of today, 'cause they don't have to take a stance. Everybody's stuck on replay, but they won't need a second chance.
We seek what we hide. The boundaries are pleasant. We trust a denial while we get another lesson. We walk side by side. We distract what we have killed tonight, so we don't have to decide. 'Cause there's always someone else to find.
All the people feeling it's of today, 'cause they don't have to take a stance. Everybody's stuck on replay, but they won't need a second chance. All the people feeling it's of today, 'cause they don't have to take a stance. Everybody's stuck on replay, but they won't need a second chance. Call your friends tonight. You will need a hand to run for cover. Step out into the light. You will see there's more we have to discover. Call your friends tonight. You will need a hand to run for cover. Step out into the light. You will see there's more we have to discover.
People feel the kids of today. Everybody lives on replay.
Nobody likes being played.
He said I'm worth it. His one desire.
I know things about him that you wouldn't wanna read about.
Kiss me, his one and only beautiful life.
la doon toppatoo soo mënee defal ko bi lépp baax yi yow laa doon gis bi ma sonn yaa ma doon digal su ma riiri dëgg dëgg gërëm naa la man daal fàttewuma la nëbbatuuma la ma ki la doon toppatoo soo mënee defal ko bi lépp baax yi yow laa doon gis bi ma sonn yaa ma doon digal su ma riiri dëgg dëgg gërëm naa la man daal fàttewuma la nëbbatuuma la man la seen doom man daal fàttewuma la nëbbatuuma la man la seen doom yaa ma doon digal su ma riiri dëgg dëgg gërëm naa la man daal fàttewuma la
Teloida na quase Sudan show oh Sudan show I'm up here oh yeah hot
استنوا نفكر فكر كيف باللو كان في سلام ننجنو جنو نسلو سلو فرق بيت هيكون في سلام اسمع كوركتنا اسمع سلاتنا درجوا في مدى بارك جاك شنو دي اوتمال دورا كتير مدى نيوما نيوكا ماي كماتش كتير مدى ياندا نيوكا ماي كتير مدى ماي دور كبول أنا ما في مدى بارك جاك كودينا لو دوران كدينا دوران تس في مدى بارك جاك I can't wait for that day I'm living for me the rest now gua Sudan show que Sudan show can I have a big one big screen one big screen just hold on a minute think for a minute كيف بلدلو كان في سلام نجنو نسلو فرق بيت هيكون في سودان
Where my people
we'll plant seed in the land
Where my people
we'll be free in the land
Where my people
that's right that's my prayer I can't wait for that day when I see no more tears No more fear, no cry, no tribalism, nepotism, and racism in my motherland. I can't wait for that day when the wonderful people go back home and plan their nation in this generation. I can't wait to see that day. I was fed on 25 years of hopelessness. As I sing this song, I'm strong, dedicated to the lost souls. Every second, every year, every hour as I grow older, I'll never ever forget ya. You fought, you struggled, and I said, now that's my prayer. I can't wait for that day when I see no more tears, no more fear, no cry, no tribalism, nepotism and racism in my motherland. I can't wait for that day when I see my people going back home. That's my prayer.
Deine Zauber binden Liebe, was die Mode stringen, alle Menschen der Welt